Hello everyone, I am Phoenix Tremaine, and this is my review of The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now, I apologize for this review being a little late, but this show was boring as fuck, so I had a lot going on. So hopefully you will enjoy this review. I think it's going to be kind of short, um, but also if you haven't done so, please subscribe. And join me on Twitter and Instagram. I've been doing a lot to build my following there because I've got like over like 10,000 on Facebook now. So I'm trying to increase my social media presence on Twitter and Instagram as well. So if you use those devices, I would appreciate you hanging out with me on those services as well. But you're here for Real Housewives of Atlanta, and I took some notes. It's like half a page, uh, and basically we learned that Phaedra takes a call from Apollo so her son can talk to his father. And, this dispels a lot of arguments. Phaedra's been saying the whole time that she lets Apollo talk to his kids. And she even discusses in the promo for next week taking the kids to the jail. So I don't know what Apollo's been saying to Candy and Todd, maybe to get sympathy. But sounds like he's doing some manipulations from jail because we actually saw it on camera. He talked to the kid, and it don't look like it was the first time. We also got Candy and Todd talking about their restaurant, bringing the family together. They wanted to be a family restaurant. They want the aunts and Candy's mother to be a part of the restaurant. But knows they're at an age where they really can't like manage and be there and actually be the cooks. They just want them to be part of the theme and to also offer some recipes. And they want to call the restaurant the Old Lady Gang and have like wanted posters up with the women's faces on there saying, wanted for creating like the best Southern cuisines or whatever. And I'm saying that the Real Housewives of Atlanta is boring because it hasn't been the same without Nene. I know there's a lot of Nene haters out there, but I mean, let's be honest, it's been boring as fuck. And Phaedra without Apollo isn't really giving us anything. Candy's pregnant. It's just not like she's having confrontations with anybody. And who cares if she's opening up a restaurant? Then we see Kenya's house is nowhere near ready, and she's milking this whole situation with her mother. Like she's milking every ounce of that storyline out. I think we finally got the last of it because she claims that she's now over it. She confronts her aunt Lori and cousin Shay, who walked through her real house door, and they're like, sorry to come unannounced. I hate when they do that because we know there's a camera crew there that they all have full hair and makeup ready. So why are you lying to us that this is an unannounced visit when we know damn well y'all had a shooting schedule? So stop taking me out. This is why I can't like Kenya. This is why I can't like Kenya because I want to like her because I'm always here for the bitch. If you're a good bitch on reality TV, it's always funny. Like Cardi B on Love and Hip Hop, or Nene on the Real Housewives of Atlanta, or some of the new bitches on the Potomac, Real Housewives of Potomac. Um, but Kenya always seems like she's fake. Her storylines are fake. Her men are fake, and it's hard for me to get into anything she does because it always falls apart, and it's always easily see through that half the shit that she does is not real. Like for instance, her was a hair care or whatever she's doing with that. If she was really had that product line, we would be seeing so much more about that. That would be her life. You don't just do shit like that, and like she's not like Lady Gaga or Mariah or somebody who's out there, doing their concerts and their albums, and they just get somebody to do a product real quick and slap their name on it. No, they're talking about this is what they really do. No, fake. Um, then we got Phaedra, Kim, Portia, and Sheree going to the Million Man March. And pretty much they meet this congresswoman who turns out to be too much for Kim because she started talking about how black men are treated, and Kim grabs her kids and runs out because she doesn't feel like they need to hear that conversation. They don't need to be part of that conversation. Kim really, because they're so young, wants to sugarcoat the situation. And of course, she probably has enough money where she can put them in the private schools and in the best neighborhoods and shelter them from the reality of things that are happening in America as we speak. Hopefully nothing ever happens to her kids, but I'm sort of on the fence with this because they are young and because they are children. You don't want to frighten them to the point where they where they're scared of life, where they're scared to live, where they're scared to trust anyone, and where they walk out the door every day thinking they're going to get shot, or that some police officer is going to throw them in jail. Because as rough as some of these situations and issues can be, as much of a reality as the plight of the black man, which is me, is, they're still children, and the conversation for them really needs to be held in a context that a child can understand. So I understand her taking her kids out, but also feel like maybe that's a conversation you should have at home, but you still got to keep the shit real. And from what Kim was saying to her kids on camera, she was sugarcoating it too much. You let them know about Trayvon Martin. You let them know about Emmett Till. You let them know about slavery and what's going on, and how there's good police and there's bad police, and how there's a corrupt system, and you balance it out, and let them know the different tools that they can do to help protect them. And the thing they can protect themselves the most is knowledge, intellect, education. It can't stop a bullet, it can't stop the corrupt cop, but there's different things that you can do with your life to elevate yourself. And also, if you get yourself in a situation, you need to know how to handle yourself in a situation so that you don't find yourself, unless it's somebody who's completely corrupt, you don't find yourself, dead. So there are things that it's not an easy conversation. It's not a conversation for a 10-minute segment on Real Housewives of Atlanta. But I understand why Kim did what she did. But at the same time, what the fuck you on a Million Man March for if you're not ready for your kids to get the unfiltered shit? Because they're not going to filter the rally. They're not going to filter other conversation going on. So for Kim to take her kids to the Million Man March, it's not for the weak of heart. It's camaraderie, it's coming together. But at the same time, when you come together, you're not going to talk about Real Housewives of Atlanta. You'll be talking about some real shit. And Kim actually does not take her kids to the Million Man March. Just when it's time to go to the march, Kim says she has another obligation, she has to leave. So that was that. Nene came back and renewed her friendship with Cynthia. Time has passed, and whenever a housewife come back or is introduced, they've always got to connect with somebody already established on the show. Because she and Cynthia were best friends, they thought, hey, let's get Nene and Cynthia back together. The same way Nene was constantly getting back together with Kim. So Cynthia looks so relieved that Nene's back in her life, they're friends again, and it's not confrontational. And when she mentions that she's friends with Kenya, Nene does not like that shit. And Cynthia immediately throws Kenya under the bus. Like, well, we're not that close. You're my best friend, not her. So we'll get more of that next week when Kenya finds out that Cynthia threw her under the bus and said they weren't really that close friends. I think that's what happens next week. I saw the super trailer, which you should really see. Oh my god, that shit was amazing. Kim's husband, they're dancing and shit, and they're talking about these Bojangles and gay and shit. And Kim trying to check him. He's like, Kim, you can't check me. This shit's about to be off the chain. But I digress. that is upcoming shit. But for this particular episode, I don't know. I wasn't feeling it. I actually like the Real Housewives of the Potomac, which is my next review, much better. It reminded me a lot of Married to Medicine, and I'm a big fan of Married to Medicine. And I actually used to love Real Housewives of Atlanta the most, but now I love Married to Medicine the most, then Real Housewives of Atlanta. But this Real Housewives of Potomac, I have a feeling they're going to sneak up and come in for that number 2 spot, or maybe even take Married to Medicine spot. I got to see how these girls interact over the course of a few episodes before I really start declaring them the new winners of reality TV ratchetness. Unfortunately, I can't add Love and Hip Hop there because I love me some Cardi B, but they barely show her. She really needs her own show. This little snippets of Cardi B ain't do it for me this week on Love and Hip Hop, which is my next review after I did Real Housewives of Potomac. So hopefully you're going to be enjoying all these reviews. And I'm going to try to get the next one in a lot faster. But I'm going to be snowed in, so I won't have shit else to do. It's snowing as we speak. So thanks for watching.